skirt, every other skirt has the origin of free straight skirt. Now that we have already added the lower additional inches to this skirt, it doesn't affect it. But we first of all have our free straight skirt. Now our free straight skirt says we are going to use the hip measurement at the point of our hip straight down. So now that we have already done the waist, then the hip, so the remaining length of the skirt, we take the hip measurement straight down. That is free straight skirt. Before we now shape our A-line out. So we have our hip is equal to 9 plus 1, that is equal to 10. Hip is equal to 9 plus 1, that is equal to 10. We now take our ruler and connect it together. Take our ruler and connect it together. This one is a 2/4. Now, the remaining additional inches is how to use it. That is why I said earlier the half length, it is very, very important. Half length is very, very important. You now measure the half length. If you can measure it here, if you can measure it here, just make sure you measure the half length. And we already know the half length is 18 plus half, making 18.5. And this is our 18.5. That is exactly where the shape of the skirt will start coming out. Now, from the point of the half length now, you will now come. When you get it here, then you measure it here also. This is 18.5. So at the point of this half length, you will measure 7 upward. Because nowadays, if you observe the skirt we are putting on, at the point of the half length, the skirt will go inside a little bit for it to bring out a very nice shape. So for the shape now to come in, you will deduct something inside, inward, just at the point of the half length. What you are going to deduct, don't allow it to affect the working of our customer or the owner of the skirt. Don't allow it to affect that place. So, because this one is A-line now, let us deduct 1.5 for the convenience of our customer. So here we are going to deduct 1.5. Deduct 1.5. So upward we are going to measure 7. The reason why we stop at 7, we don't go further, is that nothing should affect our hip. And as you can see, this 7 is below hip, is under the hip. It doesn't touch the point of our hip. This is the point of our hip. So this one is below the hip. So don't affect anything. Whatever the shape you want to shape this skirt, don't allow it to affect our hip. So this one, from here to this place, we measure 7 upward. So we measure 7 upward. So at the point that we have already deducted 1.5, which will come to this place, then we now take our ruler from the point where the 7 is. Then you now come down. You will use your ruler to bring it down. Then use your hand to curve this way. So when you have already curved this way, and you have already have your additional inches of 5 plus 5 additional inches to bring the wider branches at the lower part. Then from here, you now take your ruler and connect it to the point of that half length. Take your ruler and connect it to the point of the half length. So you shape it and make sure that this center is giving you curve shape. It will not give you straight shape, it will give you curve shape. So this one is 1.5 that we deducted from this place. 1.5. We measure 7 upward for us to know where to stop our shaping, because our shaping must not touch the point of our hip. Nothing should affect the hip. And the additional inches I've already added, earlier, is 5 inches. So I now connect it to that place. So we are going to deduct 1.5 at this point now to allow that A-line skirt to come in and to give us the perfect shape and the half length. So this one is 2/4. This one is front cut. Now we move to the back cut. Now the back cut is going to have a zip allowance. Back cut is going to have a zip allowance. So we first of all bring down the length of the skirt. So after the length of the skirt, then the 1 inch for the zip allowance. 1 inch is okay for zip allowance. But if it's going to have a slit at the lower part, that means you are going to use more than one. You are going to use more than 1 inch. So the length of the skirt says 40 plus 2 plus half. 40 plus 2 plus half. It will give us 42 and half. 42 and half. Then 1 inch. I represent this sign as inch. Inches. Instead of writing the inches complete, so I represent this sign as inches. So 1 inch for zipper. For zipper. So that's 1 inch for zipper. So immediately after that zip allowance, then you now go to the normal measurement. Normal measurement, if you can do place and trace, you just carry this frontal and place it on the back. Or if you cannot do that, let us start the measurement just the way we do to that front. So the waist is 8.5. Then the distance calculation between waist and hip is 7. Then the hip measurement will now will start from here. The hip measurement is 10 inches. Then you now connect it by giving it a cuff line shape. Cuff line shape. This one is waist. Waist is equal to 8.5. Then DC distance calculation is equal to 7 inches. Then the hip is equal to 9 plus 1. That is equal to 10. Then, like I said earlier, this one too. If you want to fold this back, that means you are going to use 1 plus 10 plus 5. Or like that front. Before we know, because I would not like us to waste customer clothes or waste our clothes. Before we can fold this front, I told us earlier that you are going to make use of the biggest measurement, which is the hip, which is 10. So 10 plus additional inches you want to use for the down to give us shape. I said I want to make use of 5 inches. That is why I had that 5 to the length, and to that 10, it gives me 15 inches. That is what I use to fold the front. Now to the back now, as you can see, this back has a zip allowance. So that means this folding of the back will give us 16 inches. 1 plus 10 plus 5 inches for the for the additional inches. So it will give me 16. So let us measure that 16. So this is the 16. Then you will now use your ruler to chalk it straight down. So the width of that back, of this back now, is 1 plus 10, which is the hip measurement, plus 5 additional inches, making 16. So we continue. So now, and I said earlier that every other skirt apart from free straight skirt itself must have the origin of a free straight skirt. Now we will now continue having this hip measurement straight down. We first of all bring out free straight skirt out of the A-line skirt. So we now have 10 10 10 straight down, which is the hip measurement. Our 10 10 10, just at the points of the hip, you will use the hip measurement straight down. So we now say hip is equal to 9 plus 1, that's equal to 10. Hip is equal to 9 plus 1, that's equal to 10. So this one also is in 2 folds. That's the reason why we divided our waist and our hip by 4. 2 folds at the front and 2 folds at the back. Now that we have already done the free straight skirt, we will now measure half length. Like I said, half length is very, very important. This is 18.5. Because at the point of this half length, that is where the shape of the skirt will start coming out. Now this is the 18.5. Now say the half length, half length is equal to 18 plus half. That is equal to 18.5. 18 plus half, that is equal to 18.5. That is the half length of this customer. Now, I told you, whatever you do to the front, that is what we are going to do to the back also. So, we deducted 1.5 at the knee point. So, here also we are going to deduct the same 1.5. So, inwardly, I will deduct 1.5 for the shape of the skirt to come out, because the skirt that we wear nowadays, it's not like that of our olden days. Nowadays we allow our skirt to go inside just a little bit at the point of the knee. So this is 1.5 now. So this 1.5, then we now measure 7 upwardly. Measure 7 upwardly. So the reason why we stop at 7, that we don't continue more than 7, is that nothing should affect our hip. Nothing should affect our hip. And as you can see, this is the point of the hip. So this one is just under the hip, below the hip.
Action.
So we now deduct 1.5 just at this point. We deduct 1.5. So we now from the point of the half length, we now measure 7 upwardly. The reason why we measure 7 upwardly is that for us to know where the shape will stop, because if you are shaping it from up and you continue like that without the measurements, you will, at the end of the day, you will affect what is called an hip. So there's nothing should affect the hip measurement. So after that, we now take our ruler. We take our ruler just at this point where the 7 stops, then so where the 1.5 that I want to deduct inwardly stops, then you take your ruler. If it remains just 1 inch to get to the place, you know our ruler cannot curve, then you now use your hand to curve. When you use your hand to curve, and this is additional inches of 5. Additional inches. Additional inches. We have already added it right from the beginning. Then you now take your ruler, then you connect it to the point of that 5 inches, and make sure that this half length point, make sure that it gives you curve line shape. Make sure that it gives us curve line shape. So this is 1. So we now say deduct 1.5, just at the point of our half length. Just at the point of our half length, and this one is cut in 2 folds. So this is the way we normally cut our A-line skirt. As you can see, it is very, very simple, but it is logical. So the moment you understand the logic that is in it, it will not give you any stress in cutting. Thanks for watching. So if you have any question concerning this lecture, you can comment. We will get back to you anytime, any day. God bless you.
Bye.